I filmed this video a whole bunch of times and it's never really felt quite right, and I think it's because I was really trying to script it and to make it sound professional, but I'm going to speak from the heart because that's really what this is all about. So welcome to the Book of Open, first of all. I really appreciate that you're here. And I want to tell you my story and how the Book of Open came about so you can understand better what I'm trying to accomplish and why I feel the way I feel. So, it started off with me kind of growing up and really having a very stereotypical version of what it meant to be a man, or a male in our society, which was, emotionless and logical and alpha male. And really, I was a bully. I know now it's because I was really insecure and really wanted to fit in. But regardless, I was a bully. And I told myself that all those characteristics, when you put them all together, really comprised strength, and I really believed that. And I believed that those characteristics were going to help me move up the corporate ladder, and that was what I was supposed to do, and buy a bigger house and blah blah blah, all of those things. And so I didn't really spend a lot of time navel gazing or understanding my emotions or even acknowledging really that I had them. So fast forward a few years, and my wife and the biological mother of our daughters was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And we spent the next 6 years basically watching her die. And ultimately she committed suicide in 2010. And so again, 6 years later. And it was a very horrible, traumatic, challenging, anxiety-filled time. And because I had always told myself that emotions were weakness, I really didn't have them available to me to help me put what was happening into some kind of context, right? So I did the only thing I really knew how, and that was doubling down on the whole male stereotype of strength. So whenever I saw emotions, inevitably they would come out from time to time, and I would cry or I would feel sad, but they scared the hell out of me, right? So I basically just drank them away. That was the only option I had. I turned to alcohol because I was too afraid to let myself experience the perfectly normal emotions that one would experience during a time of tragedy and fear. So yeah, obviously that didn't really work out too well. So I drank every day for a long time, and then when Cindy died, I continued to drink, and I drank for 4 years after her death. And I really had a hero complex, and had really used a lot of very pathetic rationalizations, but they made a lot of sense to me at the time. I've been through hell, I've raised these daughters, I've created a new family, I'm fit, I have a good job. Hey, if I want to drink, I'm going to drink. Leave me alone. Except I was still saying that stuff for 4 years after her death, and ultimately it became untenable. And with the love and support and persistence of my wife, and some choice words from my kids, I stopped drinking. I had to. I finally admitted to myself how much I hated what I was doing, so I stopped. And really, my life has been totally different since then. And I've realized that I've got a great story to tell. But what I've also realized is that all of us have a great story to tell. So I started sharing my story, and not the pretty version where I looked very heroic, but the real version where I had times where I squared my shoulders and stood tall, and other times where I failed miserably to be the kind of man and father that my kids and my family and my wife needed. And when I started telling that story, it really resonated with people, because me sharing my story created a place of safety for other people to share theirs, and it's unbelievable how powerful that is. And so I started forming relationships with people that were deeper and more meaningful than any relationships I have ever really had in my life, and they felt so good. And I started to realize, God, I can help people. This person who I never really thought I had that in me. I thought I could lead people, and I thought I could tell them what to do, but to help them on a human level, no, I never thought I could do that, or that I would even want to bother. And so what's happened is, the more I've allowed myself to become vulnerable, or actually actively cultivate vulnerability in my life, the more and more different my life has become. And it's mind-boggling, really, the changes that I'm seeing and creating in my life. And it ultimately boils down to, I decided to start making different choices. And through those choices, I've become happier. I've allowed myself to experience a fuller range of human emotions. I've connected with people from around the world that I never thought I would. That never really crossed my mind. I've helped people. They've helped me. I've written a book. Like, I have written a book because somebody saw the message or what I was trying to do and wanted to help me. And he told me something that was very, very powerful, and it's really stuck with me. And he said, I'm not the only person that wants to help you. The world is full of people that want to help each other. So continue to be vulnerable and open and get your message out there. So since I started really understanding the power of vulnerability, I wanted to create a platform for, to give other people a platform to do the same thing for themselves and to be there and help coach them through that process, because it's very scary, right? We have a lot of stories that we feel like if they got out, oh my God, people would judge me, they wouldn't like me, and so we hide them. And we all do that, right? And then we create these personas so what I want to do is I want to show people that when you make the choice to cultivate vulnerability, first of all, I'll be there with you every step of the way. We can talk through the whole process. I'll help you write your story. You don't have to be a writer. I'll host it for you. I'll make it look pretty. I'll publicize it for you. All of these things, right? I'm really trying to lower the bar to make it easier for people to just finally share who they really are and what's really happened to them and what they've learned from the process. And it's not about how many people, it's not even really about how many people look at it. It's that finding the courage to look yourself in the mirror and be honest and without judgment about who you see staring back at you changes you forever. Because what you end up doing is all of those fears that you've let control you, you end up taking back the power over them, and you realize they were illusory. You made them up. This is one of the greatest things that I've realized is that I had so many fears and so many limitations that I was letting run my life. And I didn't discover it till I was like 41, and I want everybody to know about it. So, I guess that's my spiel. So please take a look around. There's incredible stories of struggle and tragedy and overcoming and lessons and beauty and compassion and empathy. It's just wonderful. So take a look around, comment, and consider sharing your own story. The world needs you to be you. You have so much to offer just as you are. And you can stop, trying to create or live the life that you think you're supposed to live or that other people want you to live. Just be you. The world needs the unique you and all of the beauty that you possess. So please, below, you can sign up for the Book of Opens newsletter. I usually put out a newsletter about once a week, and I try to put very valuable content in it. I'm not going to spam you or anything. I'm not going to give your email address away. I take that very, very seriously. Now, consider above checking out the Active Authenticity Challenge. We're going through our first round right now, and it's going to be very, very powerful. It's really helping people understand, look at their lives from a different point of view, and understand or raise the level of awareness and consciousness about the choices that we create. And you can see below the Deadly Book of Open, how cultivating vulnerability will make you a stronger, wiser, more courageous father. So that's the book I've written, which is coming up very shortly, or maybe by the time you're watching this, it already is out. Real labor of love, and I've learned a lot of lessons along the way, and I really think I can help men and fathers start to tell or live their own stories and redefine what it means to be a strong, wise, and courageous father. And that's what we got going on here. So please enjoy, participate, contribute, and consider sharing your own story. And remember that you are perfect exactly how you are. Do everything you can to create a great day for yourselves and everybody in your lives.